All right, welcome everyone to episode 4 of the Kota Capper College Football Central show presented by the Kota Sports Gambling Network. My name is Kyle Comas, and joining me, we have the co-host of the Gabacho Baracho Soccer Podcast and an avid Husker fan. We got Mr. Corey Adair. We got the co-host of the Not Another College Football Podcast and an avid Michigan State Spartans fan. Times are tough, but we fight through though for Mr. Beast picks. And we got the co-host of the host. He doesn't have a co-host. The host of the Play Me or Fade Me podcast. We got Mr. Action Junkie. Fellas, week 2 is in the books. We're on to week 3. How are we doing today?
I think we're doing good, boys. I feel like pretty good vibes. Kyle kind of started us off pretty good. I'm excited to see what happens in week 3 because I've kind of had some slow starts to the college football season. So I think I'm due for a big week.
Yeah, Corey, how's it going?
The fanhood wise could be a lot better. But you win some, you lose some. Your favorite team loses, you win some money, so it's kind of a wash.
Gotcha.
I'll take that. I'll take that when I can get that.
Yeah, that's true. Action, how about you? How's it going?
I'm doing a lot better than Corey. I know that much because I had Colorado minus the 3. I know he cashed the under, but yeah, that was a pretty lopsided game in the fourth quarter, so I enjoyed that. And then, Corey, just out of curiosity, I didn't get to watch much of the game, but Texas beat somebody. Who'd they beat? They beat a cupcake this past week?
Yeah, they did. That's going to be pretty massive for the contest.
So, I mean, we're still going to Mr. Manning at quarterback here soon, right? I mean, we're going to bench this kid?
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I just wanted to make sure I got that straight.
Hold up. I never said anything about Quinn Ewers. I just said I'm never going to say Texas is back, and I'm always going to root for them to lose.
Okay. Well,
and
I hey, you're the guy that wouldn't sing the Minnesota Rouser. You're the guy who didn't think Colorado would cover the 3. You're the guy who didn't think Texas could win a big game this year. So I just wanted to get those things out of the way right away to start this show.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No problem. My housekeeping is complete. Kyle, back to you.
Okay, sounds good. We got to have a clean slate going into this. Before we do, Corey, do you have the Minnesota Rouser ready, or is this something that we got to say for another show?
Oh, I'm good to go with it. I'm kind of licking my wounds right now. We'll do that later.
Okay, sounds good. We'll say that for the end of the show. How about that?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. So we'll end the show with that. But I guess for me, I'm excited. I do have boots on the ground this week, and I will be going to Iowa City for the Iowa-Western Michigan game. I go to a Hawkeye game every single year with my family, so I'm looking forward to that. But Western Michigan Beast in Michigan knows Western Michigan stinks this year, so I'm hoping that's going to be not a very close game, but you never know. But yeah, I'm excited to go back to Kinnick Field once again.
Well, congrats! You probably get to see him score more than 24 points this week.
Let's not get carried away, Action.
I was going to say, I think the spread is like something like 28 and a half, something like that. So if Iowa, doesn't, play well, and this is somehow a close game, that would be a disappointment for sure, I would say.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm excited for it. And we got a decent slate of games. I know we were talking before the show, not a great slate, but a decent slate. But I'll give this pep talk though. Let's get through this week and a little bit of next week. After that, we go into conference schedules. That'll get us through. So just get through this week, a little bit of next week. After that, we got conference schedules. But gentlemen, let's get started as always with the trivia question of the week. So I did ask everyone at the network, or most people at the network, this trivia question. They all said it's a very, very good question. But the only one thus far, I have a couple people who I'm waiting on answers for. The only people thus far that got it right was Soup. So take that for what it's worth. And I'm even going to be nice enough to you. So there's 10 possible answers to this question, and I'm going to give you all 10 of them. So one of the 10 answers I give is correct. So of the last 10 Heisman winning QBs, so I'll give them to you right now. The last 10 are Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, Johnny Manziel, Robert Griffin III. Those are the last 10 Heisman winning QBs. Of those 10, who had the least amount of passing yards the year they won the Heisman? So that's the trivia question, is of the last 10 QBs that have won the Heisman, who had the least amount of passing yards the year they won it? So I'll give you time to ponder that while I do our ad read really quick. The Kota Capper College Football Central show is sponsored by Better Edge. Better Edge is a social betting marketplace that operates like an exchange and is not a sports book to peer or sportsbook to better marketplace. It's a better to better marketplace. So how does that work? Let me just give you an example here. Let's do what's a good backyard brawl game? Let's do that. You got Pittsburgh. Somebody puts $10 on the money line for Pittsburgh. Another person on the platform sees that order but likes West Virginia. They put $10 on that line. Boom, you now got an exchange and you're operating person to person rather than person to sportsbook. That's what makes it legal. And like we've said multiple times on this show, if you don't like a line, you can create your own line. And all you have to do is have somebody on the marketplace be opposite of you, and you got an order all of a sudden. Like Action has said multiple times, I bet college football all year long, and I don't think I've had an order not get fulfilled. There's a lot of action going on the marketplace, a lot of people wanting to get an order done, wanting to get a little action on games and stuff like that. And the thing I really, really like about Better Edge is you go to some spreads, like if there's a lot of money on one side for a spread or an over-under, that line gets juiced. That's not like that at Better Edge. Better Edge is always minus 100, plus 100. You get such a higher payback, which I love so much. They have tons of competition. They have like battle royales. They have survivors. So you do like 1 day of games and like half people go, so on and so forth, like a survivor league. They have that. They have tons of different competitions. And one thing too that makes them different from other sports books is they also incorporate social media. So if you like a play, you put it out there on your platform, your followers can look at it. They can fade you to create an order. They can go with you if they want. We love Better Edge here at the network. Go to their website, www.betteredge.com. Use promo code Kyle, promo code Beast, Play Me, Corey, Thomas, all those different promo codes. You can use any one of them. You get $20 added to your account. I mean, that's free money, people. You just put in money, you get money added to it. We support Better Edge here at the network. Go to the website, www.betteredge.com, and use any of the promo codes we listed for $20 added to your account. All right, gentlemen. So I gave you time to think about it a little bit. So I listed the 10 QBs, the last 10 QBs to win the Heisman. Which of those QBs passed for the least amount of passing yards the year they won the Heisman? Again, one person out of everyone that I've asked has gotten it right so far. Let's see how this group does. Corey, we'll start with you. Who do you think it is?
I think I'm pretty confident I've got it down to 2 names. I think you're trying to get me to zig when I should zag on this one. I think this is trick. I'm gonna go with Johnny Manziel.
Okay, sounds good. Beast, who do you think it is?
I'm going to go Lamar Jackson. I just think a lot of it was rushing yards that we, saw out of him that year, but I could be flat wrong.
Okay, sounds good. And Action, who do you think it is?
Those were the exact 2 names I was considering. I'll go Lamar with Beast.
Okay, sounds good. So the good news is there is an answer correct that was given. And actually, even better answer is the 2 lowest were also given. So congratulations to that.
Wow, we're so good, dude.
Yeah, you guys nailed this trivia question. So the year this individual won the Heisman, they only passed for about 3,500 yards. And that person was Lamar Jackson.
There we go.
Way to go, Beast in Action.
Finally.
I
Corey-
thought I thought that was like too obvious of a one. So I thought it was a trick.
Well, I
Johnny
was actually
Manziel-
going to go Johnny Manziel until Corey went with that, and I'm not going to ever agree with Corey. So thank you, Beast.
There we go.
Johnny
He
Manziel,
was.
Corey, for your reference, had 3,700 yards, so only 200 more than Lamar. Everyone else had 4,000 plus, so it wasn't even close after that. Because one year we did it, I did just the 2010s, and if we did that, it was Cam Newton. Cam Newton wasn't anywhere close to those guys. He only passed for like 2,800 yards or something like that. But Cam Newton was more of a runner than anything.
Right.
Yeah, and I think his was a lot to do with big moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
How much rushing yards did Lamar have that year? Because that was my thing. I think that's obviously the main reason he got it was he was such a dual threat. Like he had so much rushing yards that year. It felt like.
I want to say, and I don't know this for a fact, I'd have to look it up, but I want to say it was over 1,000.
It was over 1,500 because he was the first ever 3,500, 1,500 quarterback.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
That's insane.
That's part of the reason why I guessed him for rushing touchdowns on one of your previous trivia questions.
Yep.
I didn't even take a running back. I went him at quarterback because that's all I remember is him running wild.
Yep. So, all right. Well, good stuff, gentlemen. I think everybody on the panel has gotten one trivia question right, although Corey and Thomas's correct answer is currently under protest, but that's another story. You knew UNLV the whole time last week, Corey. I know you and Thomas did. All right. So before we dive into our week 3 snake draft, let's talk really quick about week 2. A lot of stuff happened in week 2. A lot of really big games, a lot of close games, a lot of surprises. Let's just really quick highlight week 2. I'll start this one, and I want to give thoughts and prayers first and foremost to anybody either on this panel, at the network, or anybody in general that had Texas Tech plus 6.5 against Oregon. That might be one of the worst beats I think I've seen. So for those of you that missed it, Oregon was up 1 with a minute to go. Texas Tech had the ball at midfield, was driving to at least get a field goal. Oregon intercepted it, didn't go down, took it to the end zone for a pick 6 to put them up 8, and plus 6.5 ended up not hitting. So if you had Texas Tech by chance, plus 6.5, I feel for you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was watching that game live too, and you're right that all you could do was just watch. And you're like, oh my God. I didn't have any bets on it, but all I could think was, oh my gosh, I'd be putting my remote through the TV right now if I was on Texas Tech, because that was disgusting.
Yeah, the most fun part here is I was on the over, so it did not hurt my feelings seeing it happen. I do know that there was a couple people in the network on Texas Tech there, so I do feel for them. But that was an absolutely wild game. That was a really, really fun game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Did that pick 6 cause it to go over, Corey? Was the over already there and you were good?
Oh no, the pick 6 did it.
Oh wow, okay. So that actually worked out in your favor a little bit.
Yeah. So you win some, you lose some. Some people get it given to them, some people get it taken away.
Okay.
That's a good way to put it.
All right, very good. Action will go to you. What do you got for week 2?
My disappointment in Wisconsin. That's not what I expected from Luke Fickell's team. That first half offensive performance with Mordecai, disappointing. It's just beyond words for me. That was just a dreadful effort there.
It really was. Like, nobody would have expected them to lose the way they did to Washington State, who, by the way, is kind of a middle of the pack Pac-12 team.
True.
What happened? I didn't watch that game. What happened?
To me, they just couldn't get the offense going in the first half, and their defense, I don't know if it's the lack of Jim Leonard on that coaching staff, but their defense couldn't stop anything in the first half.
Sorry, I got to get my shots in there because that was
yeah. I get it. You got 1 point back. You're still minus 10. Don't worry.
Oh,
put out a lot of takes before the season. One of them was bound to hit.
One of them. You know, I've got some pretty horrendous ones, but that one was the one I was most adamant about. So this is all music to my ears. I love it. I pray for the downfall of Wisconsin.
There you go. Hey, at least you didn't say Cade Klubnik was going to win the Heisman this year. Because I don't know who would do that. Absolute idiot.
You went to the club with him. That's what happened.
Yeah, I think he had one too many shots at the club, dude.
Beast, we'll go to you. Week 2. What do you got?
I think the big storyline obviously was Texas. Just absolutely outstanding. I don't know if this is your same Alabama team that, you know, you're probably used to seeing with Bryce Young. And, you know, we don't know what we're going to get out of Milroe. He's played pretty good at times and then pretty not good at other times. But Texas looks legit. And that was as much as I think we all don't want to say it. That's the type of win that makes you say that word that starts with a B that we don't want to say about Texas, but they looked pretty darn good. I think when we were talking about, the Big 12 before the season, we were saying, how Texas might, be the front runner. I think they kind of established themselves as that. But we'll see. All could change during league play. You really never know.
Especially with how poorly Oklahoma played in week 2. Like after watching that game, it almost just seemed like this is Texas's conference.
Yep. But that can lead to a lot of disappointment when a mid-season loss comes in. It's all going to be expectations now.
I just can't wait for people to say that word that starts with a B and then Texas just flops like they do all the time.
Come on, action. I need you here, buddy. We can't just hold me to a certain standard, not hold everybody else.
Let these guys keep talking. I'm okay. I have a lot of future bets on Texas. I got to keep the power on, baby.
I do have a question though. Are we starting to shift our viewpoint on the current ability of Saban at all? I mean, ever since Joe Burrow, we're getting to this point now where they haven't been clutch in these monumental games. Texas took them to the wire last year. Georgia's had their number. And then before that, LSU took them down. That we're getting to the point now where there's been a stretch of Alabama not winning these games. Are we starting to wonder if he's over the hill? Or this is just, I'm just throwing that out there and asking.
Yeah, I'm going to make a couple points here. Number one, you're correct in one front, which is the fact that the last 5 games, Alabama's been favored by single digits. They've only won one of those games, and they've been the favorite in those games, not the underdog. So they're not achieving in -7 type situations. But, when you look at Saban, if you look back to the coaching staff that he had 10 years ago and all the coaching staff turnover, I think it's maybe finally catching up to him. I mean, he has a tree like no one else out there. He's assembled a great staff after great staff, and I think finally the lack of continuity could be catching up to him. Maybe NIL is not favoring Bama as much as it once did because it's leveling the playing field a little bit in the recruiting. It's not just the glitz and glamour of Alabama that's selling you. If Texas has the money, the money's going to help a little bit.
Yeah, I guess to go off that a little bit too, I would say that not only did the NIL and the transfer portal help a little bit as well, I just think the SEC is just regressing. And I think that the competition within the SEC is not near like in the early 2000s, the 2010s, like the SEC was the powerhouse and everyone else is kind of below them. I think all 5 Power Fives, I know Pac-12 is probably going to go away, but I think all 5 Power Fives have their own respective teams in itself that doesn't make SEC like the big powerhouse we thought they once were.
I really hope you're right on that.
It's a valid point. The only other thing I really have on that game is just one kind of stat that kind of might go I guess like underappreciated in that is Texas was only averaging 2.84 yards per carry. Like they barely rushed over 100 yards in that game. Almost all that success was just passing it. And a lot of people will obviously give plenty of credit to Quinn Ewers because he deserves it. But the other thing that I guess I'm probably saying is if I'm any SEC team or anybody else on Alabama's schedule, I'm going right at that secondary. I'm going to throw the ball all over the place on them because clearly they can stop the run. Like that wasn't the issue. But they had a lot of issues once Quinn Ewers started slinging the ball around. So maybe that's Alabama's flaw this year, and I would be going right at it if I was an SEC team this year.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons I brought up the Saban thing because that's his specialty is defensive. Yeah. That's kind of what he hangs his hat on. That's the personnel group that he hyper focuses on as a coach. So that was one of the reasons I bring it up. And then I think there was a couple things that were said around that when we went around that horn there that kind of ties into what Kyle was saying, Action was saying. I think the transfer portal and NIL, I think that's why you see the SEC having their bad record against other Power 5 conferences this year. I think you're seeing kids that aren't getting playing time getting flushed out to other schools. And I think now that schools can have a legal way for getting money to students, now they don't have to stay as close to home. And I think you're starting to see that kind of flush talent out of the South a little bit more than it used to be doing.
Yeah, Yeah, I think that's well said. I think all around that was well said. To kind of shift gears a little bit, Corey, let's wrap it up with you. What any thoughts you had for week 2?
Well, Thomas was scared to come on this episode. That's all I'm gonna say. No, yeah, I actually think that Beast is 100% right that the game that should be talked about the most is Texas Bama, and for some reason everybody's still talking about Dion. It's kind of annoying that they're gonna have big noon kickoff 2 weeks in a row when they're playing Colorado State. They're gonna have. I think this is the first time that big noon kickoff and game day, maybe this is the second time, are both going to be at the same place, and it's for Colorado State, Colorado. I mean, you got the backyard brawl happening, and it's a night game. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. I'm sorry, but this is. I cannot wait for them to play Oregon and USC. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm actually pleasantly surprised they're not at the backyard brawl too, because Herbie and Fowler are calling that game. I'm pretty sure. Normally, where they call is where they have game day at, so I'm kind of surprised it's there too. But yeah, having big noon kickoff and game day there, that's kind of. I don't know if I like that. I don't know.
It's the platform, Colorado State. I mean, you're talking about one of the bottom 4 teams in the Mountain West for the last 3 or 4 years. Like, what are we doing here?
I will make the argument though. I did think Nebraska's defense looked really solid against Colorado. Shadur, I'm sorry, Shadur Sanders is good.
He's good.
He's
good.
So good.
I do have a take. I don't ever after the TCU game, everybody wanted to anoint him a first round pick at quarterback. I don't necessarily buy into that.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that ball floating up there for quite a while when you throw it to the opposite hash. I don't think necessarily the arm strength is there. He's mobile. He's really smart. He's good at reading defenses. I think he's going to be really good college quarterback. I think he might struggle at the next level. I do think that it's really hard to maintain a certain level of output on defense when you're spotting the other team 4 possessions at altitude and they're a fast paced, quick strike offense. If the turnover margin is even, I don't necessarily think that they have that breakout in the fourth quarter like that. But he is good. He is good. And Travis Hunter is everything is advertised.
Mm-hmm.
That kid is special. I'll give him credit. He's clearly the best player on the team. I think Shador is a good college player. I don't necessarily think he's going to be a good pro.
Yeah, and to kind of put a ball on this game too, I've gone on record, Corey, to say that Jeff Sims sucks, and I don't think Jeff Sims is going to be successful at Nebraska. Here's what I'll say about Jeff Sims. His ability to be a dual threat of run and pass is dangerous. His decision making sucks, and that's got to change.
It wasn't even his decision making this time. It was just fielding a freaking shotgun snap. If you can't make a handoff under center and you can't field a shotgun snap that hits you right in the hands, you can't play football.
Yeah, his big issue really just is those turnover worthy plays, and that's like a thing that I don't know. There's probably somebody out there that measures that, but like I always joke about it with my friends, and I'm like turnover worthy plays in college are everything. So like if I'm betting on a quarterback, that's what makes you nervous about betting on Nebraska is simply that he could be driving down the field to win the game and, do what he did in, week 0 where he throws like a pick that it just, he's too turnover worthy. You know what I mean? Like it frustrates me because he's got talent. He just doesn't do a lot with it at times.
Are you talking about Adrian Martinez for the 3 years before this, or are you talking about Sims? Okay, I got confused. I mean, Nebraska quarterbacks are all the same for the last decade.
He's not wrong.
I got my point back if you're scoring, Kyle. I got my point back on Corey.
It's all right.
I didn't think the action versus Corey rivalry was going to happen, but I'm all here for it.
It's okay. I've got a point, I've got a feather in my cap that I can bust out later if I have to. I will say this, he could go the next 3 or 4 games without a single turnover. It's not going to give me any confidence when there's a crunch moment. It's exactly what you were just talking about, Beast. That he's going to be driving in a 2-minute drill. Yeah, I'm never going to have confidence in him ever.
Yeah, that's valid, but you know what? It'll be fun. It'll be a fun roller coaster.
He has a lot more potential than I was giving him credit for. I will say that. But his decision making and his like ability to like be a little more better in crunch time, that's got to improve. Nebraska doesn't have any shot of having success this season.
Absolutely.
But okay, I think that'll put a bow on week 2. Let's get into week 3. So we'll get into our week 3 betting snake draft. It's been fun so far. For those of you that don't know how the betting snake draft works, it's a 5-round snake draft. 4 of us, we're giving you 20 picks. So how we do it, once again, shout out to our friends at Better Edge. We're using the Better Edge platform for most of our categories. Every single person in the panel has to have a full game spread, a full game over under, a money line, and those 3 are all via Better Edge because on their platform they have that. They don't have the other 2 categories I'm about to list. You have to have a first half, and it can be a first half spread, money line, team total, or over under, excuse me, and you have to have a team total. So really quick, let's go through the standings for last week if I can pull them.
We don't have to.
You're really quick. Well, you weren't on last week, B, so you're good to go.
I'm last. I'm last place. So,
Kyle, is it true that Thomas is not planning to join this again until somebody catches him? He's basically feels like he's already clinched it.
I think that's kind of the case because you said it right. Action. Thomas won last week with a 4-1 plus 4.73 unit win. His second snake draft of the year. His only loss was his 5-unit play of UTEP moneyline over Northwestern. So he actually, all his other plays hit. I came in second with a 3-2 plus 4.23 units. Corey finished 2-3 plus 0.73 units. Action finished 3-2 minus 1.56. And Dan finished 2-3 minus 5.27 units. Overall, we went 14-11 plus 2.72 units as a group last week. So that's very impressive to keep our hat going and stuff like that. But again, everyone has to have a full game spread, full game over under, money line, a team total, and a first half total. We did the order once again via the wheel before the show. The order this week is going to go Beast, myself, Action, Corey. And then Corey will start the second round. You go Corey, Action, myself, Beast. And one other thing to note, once again, there is strategy with these plays because the higher you take it, the more units it's worth. The first round is worth 5 units. The second round is worth 4. Third worth 3. Fourth worth 2. And the 5th round is worth 1. So I believe we are all set and ready to go. Beast, you do have the number 1 overall pick. The board is wide open for you. Who are you going to go with here?
All right. I feel like a GM coming up for like the first overall pick. The classic Detroit Lions move to have the number 1 pick. Florida Gators +7 at home versus Tennessee is going to be my first pick. This is such a trap game, and that is exactly why I love it. Everybody's going to look at Tennessee and that offense and how much points they put up, and they're going to say, why would I, bet on a 1-1 Florida team? Listen, this is exactly what they do is Vegas will trap you into thinking 7 points is an easy win for Tennessee. Nope. They're going into the swamp for a night game. I think there's something to be said about going to Gainesville and playing. They just seem to have a different edge. Those fans are going to be going absolutely bonkers for a night game against Tennessee. Florida's going to seem like the worst team when you're betting it, but they're going to win this. Well, they're going to win this bet. I shouldn't say they're going to win this game, but I think they're going to win this bet. +7 is a gorgeous, gorgeous football number. I think they keep this one within 3-4 points. I really do. I think this is going to be a very fun game for your Saturday night. So lock in, get that Florida +7 on Better Edge, man.
All right. Sounds good. I will make a couple points here, Beastie. I heard on a podcast today that Tennessee has not won in Gainesville since 2005. So that's a thing to note as well. And Tennessee looked awful against Austin Peay last week too. So I don't hate that play at all, and I think that's a good pick.
Here we go.
All right, so I'm up now. Let me just write it down here. So I'm going to go with an over-under for my first play of the game, and I'm going to go with 2 teams that have pretty solid defenses and two teams who have kind of struggled a little bit on offense to score points. I don't know if Corey's going to like this or not. I'm taking Nebraska, Northern Illinois under 46 as my 5-unit play. As I said already, they've gone through difficult times. I know Colorado kind of ran away with it against Nebraska. I don't take that too much to heart because I know how good of a team this team is. And Northern Illinois is no Colorado by any stretch of the imagination. I'm excited. The clash of quarterback titans we got in this game, Rocky Lombardi versus Jeff Sims. This is going to be a clash of the titans. I'm excited for it. I don't think there's going to be many points scored. I think it's going to be very, very low scoring. So that's going to be my 5-unit play. Nebraska, Northern Illinois under 46.
You gonna take that beast? That's your boy right there, right?
There you go, man. Rocky Lombardi. He's a special specimen. That's what I'm saying.
But okay, so that's where I'm going to go with my 5-unit play. Action will go to you.
Thank you, Kyle, for not taking my play. When you went off the radar there, I got scared. But in a Kevin Costner moment, I wrote down before I went to bed, you can't see this, but it says South Alabama plus 7.5 no matter what. That's my play at Oklahoma State. I think they're going to win this game straight up. South Alabama, 18 starters back, 78 lettermen, 10 wins last season, 4th most experienced team in college football, top team in the Sun Belt. Last year, they missed their opportunity at the Power 5 win at UCLA, losing by 1. This year, they're going to get it done, but I get more than a TD here. I'll take it. Give me South Alabama plus 7.5.
I like it.
That's a great play, and you're getting that extra half point too. You know what I mean? That's what matters. There is that 7.5 is a big difference.
Yep.
All the sweeter.
It seems like a lot of times though too, like anytime a group of 5 plays like a middle of the pack Power 5, you're getting like a touchdown and stuff like that. But South Alabama's really, really good. I think they have a very good shot of winning the Sun Belt, and Oklahoma State's not very good. So I like that play a lot, Action. All right, Corey, we'll go to you. You got a back-to-back, but we'll start with your 5-unit play, first round.
All right, the one thing I'm most confident in, looking at this, there's a couple of them that I really like. The one I like the most, though, I'm gonna go with Northern Illinois team total under 15.5.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
I'm a little bit worried about the total over under on that, just because if Nebraska decides that they're gonna run wild on the ground and it clicks, then 45 can happen. We saw that last year against who was it? Or no, it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago against Northwestern, when they decide that they're going to run it for 350 yards, they just won't stop. Then that very well could happen against the Northern Illinois team. So that kind of worries me. I do like the under in that one, but Northern Illinois not scoring 16 points, that I feel really good about. The other one, let's see. I didn't put them in a power ranking, so I don't know which one I should go with next. But let's see. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna take Western Michigan plus 28.5.
Oh my God. What the I actually don't mind it is why I'm saying that.
I mean, that means that Iowa has to score 29 points. So that's kind of what I'm going off of here. I don't know. Iowa very well could shut them out and get 3 pick sixes, and I look like the biggest idiot in the world. But 28.5 is a big spread for a team that hasn't scored 28 points yet this year. So
okay, no, that's totally fair, and I respect it. Your Northern Illinois team total, what kind of line you got on that?
it was minus 110.
Okay,
Both of them are minus 110.
well, better edge is minus 100, so that works out.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So nope, I actually like both those plays. So we'll see how. And yeah, you're right. That means Iowa has to. Cause it was 29.5. You said
28.5.
28.5. Yeah, Iowa ain't scoring 29. I'm an Iowa fan. I'm telling you, that's not happening. So.
Yep.
I would throw a flag on that one, Kyle, if you want the Iowa team total under. I think Hawkeyes are scoring 35 this week. The coaching staff needs 25 points for their contract. the Big Ten starts next week. They got to score 40-some points this week.
I think you're discrediting nepotism a little bit too much there, because if they go 10-2, I don't think it matters if he scores 25 points a game or not.
I read the contract. You need 8 wins and 25 points, 325 points for the year, I believe.
You think he's going to fire him and then have him over for Christmas dinner 2 weeks later?
Well, he doesn't get his incentive money back. He still takes a pay cut if he doesn't do it.
He's not
going to score 40 points this week.
I don't know if it'll be so much Kirk firing him as it'll be the AD firing him.
Yeah.
Iowa to the over was going to be one of my plays. So that was going to be one of my plays.
I think there's definitely some scarred, memories of Iowa football not scoring much, and that's just running through everybody's heads. But if you believe in this new Iowa offense, if you believe in McNamara, we'll see.
Well, hey, Western Michigan gave up 48 points to Syracuse last week. They have 2 starters back on defense, and in the Phil Steele rankings before the season, Western Michigan ranks 133rd out of 133. Even Iowa can score against a team like that. All right, what the heck? I'll throw my flag on Corey. There's my challenge. I just ranted for 5 minutes. I need to go head-to-head him on him something so he can't pay up.
Okay. Nope. That sounds good. Action will go back to you. I think I know the direction you're going to go here with the game anyways, but we'll see if I'm right.
Well, yeah, you maybe know the game. I am going to go Oklahoma State team total under 27.5. So trivia question for everyone out there. When a team struggles with 2 quarterbacks and they rotate quarterbacks, what do we normally think of the team? What's our first thought?
Bad.
Okay. So what if you're rotating 3 quarterbacks for the 3rd consecutive game at Oklahoma State? What does that tell you?
Not good.
But they have none.
that they have none, or the quarterback position is a complete liability. And we saw it last year with Oklahoma State. They started 6-1. They beat Texas. They won at Baylor. They were a good football team. All of a sudden they lose their quarterback. They go 1-5 down the stretch. You got Gundy with his kid as one of the 3 in the rotation. Oh, I'll tell you what, I think this sets up for a great under, because obviously I'm on South Alabama already, but I do have to pay juice with this one. I'm at a -125, but give me Oklahoma State under the 27.5 with their 3 quarterbacks. Maybe they'll play 4 this week and maybe it'll work.
Okay. So I love the passion action. I absolutely love it. Okay, so we'll go to me now. We talked about a little bit before the show. I think this week 3 slate is really, really bad. So with a bad slate, that means bet unders for the most part. So I'm going to do another under I really like. I'm taking a first half under. I'm taking Utah State Air Force first half under 23.5. I can get that at -106 on FanDuel. Both these teams have the same sort of outcome in their first half of their seasons. When they both played an FCS school, and that first half has gone over, and they've played an FBS school, and that first half has gone under. Both these defenses are very solid. Air Force will slow you down with the triple option. I say it all the time. Triple option slows teams down. And I think this is just strength on strength, and 24 points in the first half I don't foresee with these two teams. So I like that a lot at a -106. So I'm going to take Utah State Air Force first half under 23.5.
That's a good look. That's a really good look, I would say.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Beast, we will go to you. You got back-to-back. We'll start with your 4-unit play first.
All right. I got to go 4 units here, and I really don't know a ton of analysis behind this play, but we're going to do Notre Dame team total over 44.5 at home versus Central Michigan. The reason I say I don't have a ton of analysis, sometimes it's just as simple as Sam Hartman is really good, and this game is at home, and I think that Central Michigan stinks, and I think they absolutely light up Central Michigan. I watched Michigan State, and whatever they're doing on offense, put up 31 on Central, and Central, their defense, man, they had a lot of holes, and I think Notre Dame, especially being at home, they've put up 45 in back-to-back weeks here. I think they can light it up. So I think they really have a big game. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw like a 50 burger. But my better play as far as analysis goes, we're going to take West Virginia money line plus 108. I had to do it because I knew if it got back around, the boys were going to do it.
Damn
The
it.
boys can join me in saying, country roads, take me home to the place
I belong.
West Virginia.
Virginia.
My
Mountain
mama,
mama. Take me
take me
home.
home. Country
Country
roads.
roads.
We got to do it, baby. West Virginia's offense, man, they looked really good last weekend. 304 yards rushing. Garrett Green, really, really good on the ground last week. So was C.J. Donaldson the past couple weeks, I should say. So this matters because Pitt's issue last week was they got smoked on the ground by Cincinnati, gave up over 200 yards on the ground. Corey Kiner put up 153 yards alone for Cincinnati. I think West Virginia, the way they win this game is getting that rushing game going. And I don't think that Pitt is going to have a ton of answers for that. So we're going to take West Virginia, money line plus 108. I also think that there's just something to be said about the backyard brawl. We gotta get a play on it. So shout out our guy B Russ, West Virginia all the way, baby. Go Mountaineers.
God darn it. That's exactly who I was going to take here. I was going to be all about I'm team BRS, but regardless of the fact, in the backyard brawl, the stats don't matter. They're pissed. They lost last year on kind of a heartbreak whenever they threw that pick six. Corey. They lost on that pick six, and I think they're back for revenge. It's in Morgantown, prime time. I like that play a lot, and that's exactly where I was going to go with that 3-unit play.
That was on my board too.
It was on my board too.
Yeah. I just was afraid to say anything. I don't want to get kicked out of the group chat when this drops. So I kind of just going to play it close to the vest, I guess.
I was going to not say anything, but I just saw Corey had like the biggest smug smile on his face, and I couldn't help myself.
There you go.
Your Notre Dame team total, what kind of line do you got on that, or what kind of juice?
I got minus 110 at DraftKings for that one. So
okay,
they're 2-0 on that, by the way. I think that's we talk about USC team total overs. I think Notre Dame team total overs for the remainder of the season is going to be a good play. You could just probably bet that blindly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got to pivot now because that's exactly where I was going to go here. I should have taken that with my 2-unit, and I know it, but I thought you guys might have liked that Utah State play too, so I went there. So I got to pivot now. Okay, I'll go this route. Might be a surprising pick, might not. I don't know. I'm taking Western Kentucky plus 27 against Ohio State. I like Western Kentucky a lot. Their squad is very, very good. I love their quarterback, Austin Reed. For those of you that don't know, he led college football on passing last year, and he's looking solid so far this year. He's completed 65% of his passes, has 6 TDs. Ohio State really hasn't shown any flashes this year where they're going to beat a team by more than 4 touchdowns. And I think this is a really solid, under the radar group of 5 team. I do think Ohio State wins, but I don't think they win by 4 touchdowns. So I'm taking Western Kentucky plus 27 against Ohio State.
I like it. A lot of points. You're right. Western Kentucky, they got some spunk, man. That's how I would describe them. They're kind of chippy. They get a little spunk behind them, man. So maybe they come into this game with something to prove.
And they can score.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to necessarily play it right now at 27. I've seen it at 28 already too. So I think it's going to be moving the direction you want it to go.
You could always wait a day or two. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so we will move on to action. I think I know the game you're gonna do here, but go ahead and surprise us with a 3-unit play.
3-unit play. This is a game I haven't talked about yet. It's South Alabama on the money line, plus 215 at Oklahoma State. Jaguars win this one straight up. I appreciate Beast, wanting the 7.5, but I don't need it. I'll just play the money line.
I'm going to throw a wild shot out there and say we can figure out who Action's upset of the week is after we do the snake draft.
I think I kind of know
yes,
who
I think you
is
can.
going to be too.
Wild guess.
I kind of know what his lock of the week is going to be too.
Yeah.
That's all right. You got to stick to your guns sometimes, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, in a weak slate of games like you guys talked about, anything that involved Minnesota and North Carolina, I have too much bias, so I'm staying away from it. So this is the game I'm just zeroing in on, obviously.
Okay. Sounds good. Corey, we'll go to you with your third round pick for 3 units.
Okay, so I have a spread, I have a team total, so I got to do a money line first half, and I got to do an over under. I'm going to take the over under. I'm going to go to Friday night. I'm going to take the Army UTSA under 45.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, UTS. Their specialties are trying to run the ball and to stop the run. That just screams under. It's 45. I'm not sure why they're giving them that many points, but I feel like that should probably be 40 at most. For some reason, it's at 45, so I'll take it.
Yeah, and UTSA's offense hasn't looked near what people thought it was going to be too. I've been very disappointed with how they've, especially with Frank Harris coming back, one of the better QBs from last year. I know he lost Zachary Franklin, but Zachary Franklin wasn't the only receiver he went to either. So I don't think it's a huge gap, mind you, but that's not a good enough excuse for me. But yeah, UTSA has been very disappointing this year offensively.
Yep. They've both been stronger on defense, so I'm just going to lean into that. And I like to have a reason to watch the games on Friday night. So
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not going to play either side because I want to see Soup lose every Service Academy game all year long. So I'm not going to play that
because he has all 3 Service Academy teams on his team draft, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm betting the under so that he can complain in the group chat all night and gouge his eyes out.
All right, very good. So we'll start the 4th round. These are our 2-unit plays in the 4th round, and Corey, you will start us off.
All right, so I need a money line and I need a first half play.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and save my money line. We'll see what games are left over afterwards for me. But I'm going to go to the backyard brawl with Beast. I do think that this game starts off a little bit slower because it is a rivalry. I think Beast is right. I do like the money line play. I think that that's more of a second half thing. I think they wear down Pitt as the game goes on in that ruckus environment. And no words can express how much I love this game being on the schedule. Every time we get one of these matchups that hasn't been happening as much for a decade, I scream from the rooftops that realignment is awful for college football. Backyard brawl is case in point number 1. I want to see the border war with Kansas and Missouri. I wanted to keep Nebraska, Colorado on the slate. Texas A&M's back this year. I want to see that to be an every year thing. There's just some games that were meant to be played every single year. This is one of them. I think that this is a physical game and a slow going first half. I have it at 24.5. I'm going to take the first half under 24.5.
At a minus 110.
Yep.
Yeah, nope. I like that. I think they'll keep it close. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think most of the points in that game came in the second half too last year, if my memory serves me correct.
Yep.
So, okay. Can't believe Beast took West Virginia money line. Gosh, that ruined everything for me.
Hey, you can still tail me on it though.
I plan to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Saturday
plan to.
night, we're gonna have a lot of good vibes, man. It'll be a fun time.
Yes, nothing but good vibes for this game. Action will go to you with your 2-unit play here.
2-unit play. Let's go with South Alabama, Oklahoma State. First half, under 23.5 points at a minus 102.
I don't even know what to say anymore.
What was the under? What was
it's
it?
gonna go
23.5, minus 102. And if this game doesn't work out for me, I'm gonna have the repo man out here next week on the podcast.
I was gonna say we're gonna hear a knock on the door, and it's gonna be not great. But you know what? Great for content. We'll have a really good video next week of action getting hauled off.
This is my only shot to catch Thomas. I had to go all in on one game.
If South Alabama does win, you're going to be leading for quite some time.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
I may be able to do a
good
no-show the
strategy.
rest of the year.
So you got 3 units on the money line. That's 6 units right there if South Alabama can pull it off. So, okay. Sounds good. So it's my turn now. Beast took my money line, so I had to pivot here. So I'm gonna go with my other money line so it doesn't get taken. I think you all have Corey doesn't, so I don't know what he's gonna take, but I'm gonna go with it anyways. I'm taking Liberty money line over Buffalo at -162. Liberty has not played anybody the first couple weeks. I get that, but those first 2 weeks, they put up 34 and 33 points while giving up 24 and 17. This is not a bad Liberty squad by any stretch of the imagination. Their QB Caden Salter, he hasn't looked too bad. He's passed for 419 yards and 4 TDs with no INTs in the first 2 games. They're playing a Buffalo team that got stomped by Wisconsin. I know that was they kept it close in the first half. They got their doors blown off in the second half. Buffalo also lost to FCS Fordham last week. I don't know if you guys saw that. They lost to them by 3. So I think this is just a bad Buffalo team. And I think Liberty can get it done at home. Or no, it's on the road, but I still think they get it done. So I'm going to take Liberty money line at -162.
I watched a lot of that Liberty New Mexico State game last week, and Liberty can score. I still like that offense, so I like that.
Yeah.
Plus
Not near the
Statue of
Liberty
Liberty's kinda cool.
What were we saying, B? Sorry.
So the Statue of Liberty is kind of cool too. So that's a kind of
True.
a bullet point to add underneath there. Yeah. Shout out Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. shout out freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not near a Liberty team we've seen in the past though, but it's like you said, action. This is still a Liberty team that can score. So that's kind of why I like to play that. But Beast, we'll go to you. You do a back-to-back here. We'll start with your 4th round play for worth 2 units.
All right. Well, you did the first half under, so I'm going to do the full game under here. I'm going to take Air Force, Utah State under 45 for the full game. It makes me want to throw up taking a total in the 40s, anytime I do it, but this is a good look. And I agreed with Kyle's kind of take on it. Just this Air Force defense, I think, has looked really good this year, and we know that they're going to run the clock a ton with that triple option. Utah State doesn't really do much for me, so I won't even really talk about them much. I just think Air Force wins this game like very ugly fashion, like a 24-10 or something like that. So I'm going to take under 45 there for my 2 unit play. And then for my last play, I have to go first half. So I'm going to do Northern Illinois first half plus 6.5. I hate to do it to my boy Corey. I really hate to do it to him, but it's not even that Nebraska is a bad pick this week. I just don't think they're worthy of being such large favorites from what I've seen so far. They may still cover full game, but I just am not confident that they're going to come out guns a-blazing in that first half. So you're going to give me a full 6.5. Maybe Northern Illinois comes out just absolutely hype off a motivational speech. Rocky Lombardi is, showing his long flowing blonde hair off. I don't know. They might do something here. I just need this game to stay within 6 for the first half, and I think they can do that. So I'm going to take Northern Illinois first half plus 6.5.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Unlike our friend Action, I can be unbiased when I bet on my favorite team. Because the plays that I make usually hit this year, and I see the board pretty well when it comes to Nebraska. I absolutely love the plus 6.5. Nebraska hasn't started off well to start any game. I mean, what did we sit there 3-0 against Minnesota, 13-0 against Colorado? I mean, I don't see any situation where Nebraska's running away with it in the first 30 minutes. It's just not going to happen. And Jeff Sims has got a bum ankle. Give me those 6.5.
Yeah.
Kyle, can we go back and replay last week's tape between Corey and Thomas? Because I'm just curious how he's seeing the Nebraska board so well. But
what was my play?
You played the under. I get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you also challenged him on his comment about the -3. So
Whoa. I challenged his comment that Nebraska couldn't keep up with their athletes, and they did.
36-14. Okay. Yeah. You got Cornhusker eyes. I won't question it. If they play that game 10 times, Colorado wins that game 10 times.
He's got the Will Compton eyes. Will Compton's like couple plays and we're 2-0. That's what he said on Busting with the Boys this week.
Oh no, Nebraska's losing that game regardless of the turnovers. But 17 points. You take the 17 points away, those athletes don't look like they dominated that game at all. So,
Okay, well, talk to me at the end of the year. We'll see what your final record is at Nebraska.
hopefully it's 6-6.
He just wants that bowl game, man.
Get those extra practices for Coach Rule. Yep, I got it.
All right, so we'll go to my my 1 unit play. I need a team total here, so I'm gonna go to the Big Ten, and I'm gonna take Illinois team total under 16.5 against Penn State. I can get that at -115 on FanDuel. This number's high because Illinois, they put up 30 against Toledo, they put up 23 against Kansas. Penn State's defense is far better than both of those teams. I think Illinois is gonna struggle. Penn State's only put up 11 points per game this season. I know this is a home game. I'm sure Champaign is just going to be rocking for the Illini, but I don't see them scoring 17 against Penn State here. I'm going to take the team total under 16.5. And that is where I'm going to go there.
Yeah, I saw a post. They start basketball practice in Champaign in 2 weeks. So they've shifted from football. Don't worry about the raucous crowd there in Champaign.
They're 2-0 though.
Yeah, don't worry. Michigan State probably is going to do the same pretty soon here. Don't worry.
I don't even want to touch that one. I mean,
yeah. I was going to say they got enough going on in the football program. The only person they can trust in here is Tom Izzo, I think.
Well, apparently Mark D'Antoni's good enough to come back. So there you go. You got a new associate head coach that has head coaching experience. And Kyle, just for the record, my one-star play here, I'll take the under 47 between South Alabama and Oklahoma State, and that's on a -110.
Let's go. You had
no, that's at even money. Sorry, that's at even money. What am I talking about? That one's even money. I already put that one in.
47, you said?
47 flat. Yep.
Yeah, if you're gonna commit to it, you got to go all in. I respect it. He's basically just putting all the chips in.
Yeah, and if I lose, I won't be back next week. It was nice knowing you guys, and I won't face the music with Corey. I know that. I will only return if I lose this week. I will only return if he's not on.
We're gonna see an article next week, and it's gonna be like, our guy, our Action Network or Action Junkie, was robbing 3 banks in the matter of an hour, trying to collect all of his losses.
May hit a few more than that.
My son might come home with an empty milk carton from his school and might have a picture of Action on him and be like, Dad, isn't this your buddy?
That's very possible. Don't rule me out.
Like in Walmart sometimes, so they have like pictures of missing people and stuff like that. His picture's going to be up in one of those.
Yep.
Corey, Mr. Irrelevant, your 1 unit play. It looks like you need a money line.
Yeah, I need a money line. There's one that I really like that has juice on it, but I'm just gonna lean into this and go Minnesota, half odds to thy colors, true we shall ever be, firm and strong, united are we. And then you can go ahead and do the rest. The syllables don't match up, so I'm not even gonna try the rest of it. But there we go. He can get off my ass.
Thank you. I can. Week 0 is finally week 1 is done. Now I have to have him pay up for week 1 next or week 2.
I don't know what I have to do, but we didn't specify, so I don't know what else it is I need to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right. No, we didn't hammer you and Dan down. We wanted to, but we didn't get that accomplished.
No, because I was never gonna bet +3. No, this one I really wanted to take Kansas State, but at -192 with 1 unit, it's not really worth it. I'll eat the unit if I'm going to get, what was it at? Minnesota's money line. Let me see. I was just looking at it. Give me a second here. I really did like the value on it.
Everybody knows Corey's a big
+245. +245. So I mean, if I'm gonna bet 1 unit, I'm gonna take that. I really do like I like the under. I think that's gonna be a gross game. North Carolina's defense looks better than their offense, surprisingly. Minnesota's defense is top notch. I mean, they're just as good as they were last year. So I think that's going to be a close game going into the fourth quarter. And Minnesota looked like they could start running the ball last week. So if they can get that ground game going, you never know what's going to happen.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's go over the teams really quick, and then we'll throw out some honorable mentions if anyone has any honorable mentions that they had written down that maybe didn't get taken. Beast, your team, Florida +7, Notre Dame team total over 44.5 at a -110. West Virginia money line at +108, Air Force, Utah State under 45, and Northern Illinois +6.5 at a -110. Overall thoughts on your team there, Beast?
Fired up. You know, this is the lineup. This is the dream team. You know, we're gonna bring a lot of wins home this week. I got a good feeling.
All right, very good. My team, I got Nebraska, Northern Illinois under 46, Utah State Air Force under 23.5, Western Kentucky +27, Liberty money line at -162, and Illinois team total under 16.5 at a -115. It's an unders week, I guess. This week stinks. Excuse me, as far as games go, so why not bet unders? We'll see how it works. Action. South Alabama +7.5. Oklahoma State team total under 27.5 at a -125. South Alabama money line at +215. South Alabama, Oklahoma State first half under 23.5. And South Alabama, Oklahoma State under 47. Thoughts?
Well, I got to find ways to get more money on the South Alabama game, obviously. But no, hey, I'm all in on the Jaguars. I think they win the game outright. Obviously, I'm on record with that. Honorable mention for me, though. I like Purdue plus the 2.5 against Syracuse. If that number gets to 3, I like it even more. There's some injury question marks, obviously, on Syracuse I'm waiting for. I'm a big Chris Kleiman guy at Kansas State, but you guys talked about rivalries. A little bit scared laying 4.5 at Missouri this week. That's a game I was looking at. And Miami of Ohio. I know Thomas said this is a bad team, but I watched a lot of that 14-hour game where they had like weather delays for like 14 hours, whatever it was. I think Miami of Ohio could be a live dog at a big number at Cincinnati this week. That's a game I'm looking at. And I bet Arizona last week. And another big dog that I kind of like is UTEP +17. I think they could keep that game sneaky close at Arizona. None of those made my card because they're not South Alabama.
Fair enough. And Corey, you got Northern Illinois team total over 15.5 at -110. Western Michigan +28.5. Army UTSA under 45. West Virginia Pitt first half under 24.5 at a -110. And Minnesota money line at +245. Overall thoughts on your team?
Just making sure you wrote that down. You had the Northern Illinois team total under, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So all the unders that I took, if you're not noticing it by now, there's a theme here. I'm searching the board for the unders. Unlike Kyle, it's not just an unders week. It's always unders. I'm going to take unders every which way I can find them. Any team, any under that I took on my card this week, I'm also going to be looking at the total game under, try maybe tease it a little bit. I've been doing pretty good with the teaser parlays. So if I like the line, usually I can grab a few extra points and make it a little bit safer. But I like my card. I really like a couple of them. Hope Minnesota comes through for me. A couple other plays that I do like. I don't typically bet the overs unless I find a team total over like Notre Dame that I had a couple times. But that Colorado State, Colorado over under at 59, I really like the over in that. Colorado State's not very good. Colorado can just make up reasons for feeling disrespected anymore. And so something's going to happen this week where they're disrespected by Colorado State. Maybe saying a prayer at midfield. I don't know. But they're going to come in feeling pretty disrespected for whatever reason or another. And they're not going to stop trying to score points. And I don't think Colorado State has the defense to slow them down. So they probably are going to score 50 on their own. And I don't think their defense is all that special. I think Nebraska's offense is terrible. What was another one that I liked? K-State -4.5. I'm kind of liking that one. That's a little bit of a renewed rivalry, but I just don't believe in Missouri. I liked the other Service Academy under you guys played. I had that one on my board too. And then I really like that Northwestern Duke under 48.5 in the first half under 25. I like those two plays as well.
Okay.
Props to Northwestern. They won one more game than I thought they would all year last week, and
Yep.
they did it in impressive fashion. So I like the under there. I think that defense is a little better than we think.
Yep. And on American soil.
I have to
Correct.
say, one thing I was not prepared for was this show starting off with Corey in action, just absolutely battling it out. And then Corey, picking Minnesota money line. It's just feel like I'm watching a romantic comedy where the two people hate each other for the entire movie and then they fall in love. We might be
This is
watching
not a
Love
Hallmark
Story
beast.
Century.
It is not a Hallmark. Trust me.
I think you guys should kiss now. I don't know, man.
I know. I put your lips to the screen now.
I was going to compliment his under strategy, but after that, I'm staying away from complimenting him on anything else.
What the hell I didn't even do anything wrong here.
Love
No,
is
he
real,
just doesn't
man.
want to kiss you is the point he was making.
Oh,
Love is real. I don't know what to say.
A couple you guys mentioned most of the honorable mentions I had. A couple other ones I had. Virginia, Maryland, first half under 24.5. Virginia might be the worst Power 5 team in the country, and I just don't think they're going to put up a lot of points. And I don't think Maryland's going to put up 25. I don't know if Virginia will score, but I don't think Maryland's putting up 25. So I don't like that at all. And I'm actually going to go against you. If I didn't get Western Kentucky, I like Arizona minus 17. UTEP is horrible. They gave up 38 points to Northwestern, and they lost to Jacksonville State. They beat FCS Incarnate Word by 14. Arizona's not good by any means. I love Jaden DeLora, man. I love Arizona's QB. I think he's very, very solid. And I think UTEP is really, really bad, and they showed it last week. So I'll go against you, but I didn't like it enough to play it on my card. But if Western Kentucky did get taken from me, I would have played Arizona minus 17.
What are we thinking about Kansas kicking off that late at night at Nevada? I know Nevada's pretty bad, but 28.5 is a lot to be kicking off at 9:30 at night Central Time. Just throwing that little,
yeah.
Maybe if my card goes pretty bad, I enter chase mode.
Maybe. Go ahead. Action.
No, I was just going to ask a question for the group. Anybody have an opinion of that TCU Houston game? Houston obviously coming off the loss to Rice. You got total there? Anything?
Freaking Houston, man. They beat UTSA and then they lose to Rice.
It never makes sense, man. But no. If I had to go with the play there, I think TCU is a lot better than I gave them credit for to start the year. And I just think that they should run away with it, but I don't know.
So lay the points. Okay.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would lay the points. They should run away with it, but that's key word here, should. So I don't know. I might not end up betting it, but that's where I would lean, I think.
I am kind of feeling the opposite, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I think Rice is a little bit of a rivalry there, I think, an old Southwest Conference rivalry. And that was a high-scoring game. I still am not sold on TCU, and it's a home night game. I don't know, 7.5 is a lot. I had two teams written down as my upsets of the week that I felt most confident in, or I don't really like any upsets this week, but Minnesota was obviously on there because I already played them, but I was kind of looking at that Houston TCU game just because I don't necessarily believe in TCU.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Didn't mean to jump ahead there, Kyle, but I wanted to know everyone's thoughts on that game.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. Yeah, no worries at all. I was just going to ask, I know me, Corey, and Action have given honorable mentions. Beast, do you have anything that you had written down that didn't get taken or get discussed yet at all, or not really?
Not necessarily. To be honest, I know I already had the Notre Dame team total over 44.5, but whether I was going to do that team total or I forget what their spread is at the moment right now, but I was thinking about laying the points in that game too. I really do think Central Michigan's that bad, and I wouldn't be shocked if Notre Dame just lights them up. So if you're not feeling comfortable thinking that they're going to score 45 points, like if somebody out there listening is like, yeah, I could see him scoring like 42 or scoring 44 exact. I still think they'd cover the spread in that case. So just depends how comfortable you feel there. But I think the better play was that over 44.5, just to protect you against, let's just say you get a 45-14 game or something where, maybe it falls underneath that. But so I would say maybe that Notre Dame spread as well.
Okay. Very good.
Sitting at 34.5, by the way. I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind that either. Okay. So let's go on to upsets of the week and locks of the week to round out the show. Upset of the week is we go to Better Edge. We look for underdogs of at least 7 points. Those are the ones eligible for the contest. They have to win outright to get you a point. Current standings right now, myself, Thomas, and Action all got one. Action was the only one correct last week. He did correctly pick Texas over Alabama as his upset of the week. And then Dan, Corey, and Beast are yet to get on the board still very, very early and stuff like that. So we will go through our upsets of the week. Thomas is normally on the show as a full-time panelist, couldn't make it today. So I'll do his first quick. He's taking Charlotte plus 7.5 over Georgia State as his upset of the week. But Beast, we'll start with you. What do you got for your upset of the week?
All right. Well, I'm going to have to go back on a statement that I made earlier. When I led the show off with Florida plus 7, I was like, I don't know if I'm really saying they're going to win. I'm going to take that statement right back here because I do think they win this game. And that's going to be my underdog. So I'm going to take Florida. They're plus 7. Like I said, man, you're going to the Swamp. It's going to be a different environment for a night game there. And I think some weird things could happen on Saturday night, man. It's going to be a fun time.
Okay.
Very good. Corey, we'll go to you then for your upset of the week.
I'll double down on my snake draft with that last pick. I'll take Minnesota. Big thing here is it's not a night game. It's a 2:30 kickoff. So I really like that for the upset chance. Kind of, feeding into what Beast was talking about. If it was a home dog or if it was a night game, I'd probably feel a little bit better about North Carolina winning that. But I just think that Minnesota's defense is going to put Drake May in a bind. I don't think North Carolina is going to be able to run the ball, and it's all going to come down to Minnesota keeping it close on the ground.
Okay. Sounds good. Surprises here, Action. What do you got for your upset of the week?
After Corey's pick, I'm starting to think Beast might be right. This could be a hallmark moment. I was ready to kiss the guy for picking the Gophers. Sky Uma, baby. I love that pick. The shocker here. I'm going South Alabama. That's my upset of the week.
Okay.
You had to do it.
You had to.
Yeah, right now I'm busy looking at what cigar I'm going to buy for next week's podcast.
Ooh, there you go. He's going to have a lot of money in his pocket potentially.
Yeah.
To wrap up the upsets of the week, I was like Corey. I didn't like any of the big underdogs this week, so I kind of took a shot in the dark here, and I'm going to go with a game we haven't talked about yet, and just kind of do a flyer. I'm going to take San Jose State over Toledo as my upset of the week. Toledo's been playing solid lately, I understand that, but San Jose State has the opportunity to play USC and Oregon State, two really solid teams to kind of play against, get better against. Their really good competition is going to shine here. I really like their QB, Shavon Cordero. I think he's a solid QB, and I think he's going to have a really, really big game here. And I think Toledo's going to be kind of surprised with what he brings to the table. So I think crazier things have happened, but I'm going to take San Jose State over Toledo as my upset of the week.
I like that a lot. Like you said, he's a blast to watch. Definitely one of my favorite non-Power 5 quarterbacks to root for. He's fun to watch when he's a good quarterback, but he's also just fun from that electric factor, I guess,
Mm-hmm. Very technically sound and stuff like that too. I like him a lot. Okay. So let's round up the show as always with locks of the week. Lock of the week, very, very simple. Your lock hits, you get a point. Your lock doesn't, you don't. Very, very simple. It can be any sort of play. Current standings right now. Action and Corey tied at the top with a 2-0 record for lock of the week. Dan is in third at 1-0. Thomas and I are 1-1. Beast is 0-1. So let's go through our locks of the week. And Beast, we'll start with you this time. What do you got for your lock of the week?
I'm going to go with Air Force, Utah State, under 45. I just, as Kyle was saying with his play, and as I was saying with my play, that's just a really good look. I think if you're looking for a low scoring game, and I just like it so much, and I got so much on Florida that we're gonna split it up a little bit. This is gonna be my lock of the week.
Okay, sounds good. And it's actually kind of funny that he's not here. So we're not having a lock off. We're having a shared lock. Thomas is also taking Air Force Utah State under 45 as his lock of the week.
Heck
so
yeah.
We got two guys on that. We'll go to me now. For me personally, the team I'm betting on, their offense has been absolutely rocking so far. They put up 42 and 35 points. Their QB's playing really solid the first couple weeks, completing 67% of his passes for 337 yards and 3 TDs. He's also rushed for 193 yards and a TD as well. They lost a lot of starters, but they're playing really, really solid offensively. The team they're playing got absolutely slapped last week. And I just simply don't think they're talented enough to cover the spread. We talked about it a little bit, but I'm taking Georgia State -8 over Charlotte. I think Georgia State kills them by about 10 points here. So that's where I'm going to roll with.
All right.
Corey, we'll go to you now. Your lock of the week.
All right, so I'm debating here. I've got two plays, one that I didn't play in the snake draft, and then one that I did play in the snake draft. And I'm gonna go with the one that I did play in the. I'm gonna take the Northern Illinois team total under 15.5. I just think that Nebraska's defense is actually that good. I think they're for real. I think that Lincoln under the lights, they're going to feel, I mean, it's going to probably start off pretty sleepy, but that defense is going to make a few plays, wake up the crowd a little bit. And they're going to have a really good game. Offense will struggle. Honorable mention there. I forgot to put it in the bonus plays. I really like North Carolina's team total under 29.5. That was the other one I was going between.
Okay.
I do believe in Minnesota's defense. So under 29.5, I like that. But I'm going to go with the under 15.5 for Northern Illinois.
Okay. Very good. So, Action, you've played all 5 rounds with one game. You've had your upset one game. Are you going to make it a total queen sweep here with your lock of the week?
I am, but as the runner-up lock of the week, I just want to go on the record officially that, Kyle, you will attend a game where Iowa will score over 34.5 points. Woo! That would have easily been my lock of the week had it not been for this beautiful opportunity on South Alabama plus the 7.5. I am not the bankroll management guy on this podcast here today, but South Alabama, we're all in, baby, plus 7.5. That is a lock of the week.
I love it. I love that. Is a
Lock the bank account. Lock the bank account.
That is a clean sweep. I love it. And as an Oklahoma fan as well, I also will root for you in that aspect too. So
thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
So, all right. Well, that'll do it for this episode. We will be sure to follow us on Twitter at Kota Capper CFB. We'll tweet out the snake draft, and we will we'll see how it goes. Best of luck in your bets, and enjoy week 3. We will be back next week to cover recap the week 3 games. We will have a week 4 snake draft as well. See you, fellas.